Good evening, everybody. This is your boy Mike, and coming up in just a moment, my TV show, A Man's Point and View. Today we got some very interesting topic, or a interesting topic, situationship. With the COVID-19 and everything that's going on, there's been some interesting situationships. So tune in about 2 minutes, and we're going to be live right here on DFTV Network and Facebook Live. I'll be right back. Talk to you in a minute.
I may never hit the game-winning shot, but I'll always be there when it counts.
I may never master the trails of Moab, but I'll always treasure this path that I'm on.
Welcome. A Man's Point and View. Of course, I'm your boy Mike. I wanted to do a show today. I wanted to be fun and exciting, but also something new to me. I just discovered the word situationship. And with that, we kind of did a little survey and put it out on the internet, and several people used the terminology entanglement, which we know who made that word famous. But the main thing I wanted to do today related to the show was talk to you guys. So guys, call in, share your story, share your testimony. First question is, what is situationship? Now, me being who I am, and you guys know me, I did my research, and I discovered a situationship is somewhat of an unorthodox situation that you're in that relates to a relationship, but there's no commitment. Now, I'm not a rocket scientist, but that sounds like a disaster or a recipe for a whole lot of drama. Now, with that, I guess during my tenure of time, I think I probably have put myself in a situationship. And I think 20 years ago, 30 years ago, however long ago it's been, you go through some turmoil and you end up staying with a friend. And if you're like me, guys, you're more comfortable living with a female friend than one of your homeboys, especially if you like being neat like me, because, you don't want a dirty house. But anyway, that situation turned into, I can't say drama, but it turned to a situation to where I almost feel like I had to explain myself. I had to tell when I'm coming in, when I'll be back, who I'm on the phone with. But yet I'm starting thinking, well, hold up. We ain't in a relationship, so why am I feeling this way? So I'm thinking that's what today's situationship really is. But I don't want to know everything because I don't. So call in right now for those who want to give me a clarity of what situationship is. 214-454-0929 is the call-in number. Call in, tell me your definition of a situationship. And if you're a guy and you are in a situationship and you want to kind of give me a brief situation or a brief explanation of what that is, call in 214-454-0929. And with that, I'm going to take a quick break. When I come back, we're going to share some situationship conversation. You're watching A Man's Point of View with your boy Mike. We'll be right back.
Legacy Orthopedics.
Legacy Orthopedics.
Legacy Orthopedics.
Legacy Orthopedics.
Legacy Orthopedics.
Legacy Orthopedics.
Legacy Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
Here at Legacy Orthopedics, all of our care is centered around you. We're here for your joint pain and athletic injuries.
Experience, training, and patient relationships are at the foundation of Legacy Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. We pride ourselves on the patient experience. We treat every single patient as if they were our family.
Welcome back. A Man Point and View. I'm your host, Mike. So with that, I didn't plan a whole lot of Michael talking. I mostly said, okay, what I want to do today is I want the guys and, maybe some ladies, but ladies don't take over. It's called A Man's Point of View, because I want you ladies to hear, what do we think? What are our feelings? What are our thoughts, our emotions, and all those things. So that way, hold on 1 second. A Man's Point of View, this is Mike. Who am I talking to?
Hello, this is Gerard Farrow. How you doing this evening?
Doing well, sir. What was the name again?
Gerard Farrow.
Gerard. Yes, sir. How are you doing today?
Doing well, sir. Doing well.
You've been listening to the show. You have a situationship you want to share?
Well, I think for me, I can, drag one out from the past.
Okay.
So for me, I think the situationship that I had some years ago was with a friend who, we had grown up together and kind of saw each other in high school briefly. But, as we kind of progressed towards our adult years, things started progressing towards something different,
Mm-hmm.
And so, things began to progress towards something different, for romantically, we had to make a choice about defining what that situation was.
Right.
And when things began to, I think sometimes when you already have feelings in the situation, particularly like a friendship, and new emotions come in, you really got to come in and make some type of definition as far as what it is. Are you doing something casually? Are you doing something, like, are you just going to be friends with benefits, as they might say? Or are you going to be in a relationship? Are you going to take it to the next level? So, one of the things that I feel with situationships is kind of create a certain confusion.
Well, it's an old saying. At some point, one or the other is going to catch some type of feelings. Did you experience that also?
Almost definitely. I tell you how it came to a head. One of the things that happened with me in this particular situationship was that, as an adult, I can say I had a little bit too much to drink one night, and we were out at an event, and kind of confronted her about it. and kind of made a fool of myself. Some of my friends, came in and talked to me a little bit later about, how loud I might have been. But in the end of the day, it was one type of things that came about because of a buildup of months of undefining what it was.
Right.
It was something that was, very much avoidable, and something that anytime you kind of lose your cool with somebody, particularly somebody that you care about, it's not excusable, but it's something that definitely could have been avoided. And I think for me, when I think about those type of situationships, you're always trying to think about avoiding a level of cloudiness. You want to have some type of definition. You want to know how your energy is being used.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's like,
yeah.
As I get older and I hope wiser, one of the things I'm always thinking about is the direction of my energy. Like, where is it really going? Now, if it's a friendship, it's going to be a different level of commitment. If it's a casual dating, it's certainly going to be a certain level of commitment there.
Right.
And certainly respect. If it's a relationship, then you know what it is.
Right.
So, I think probably for me in my younger days, I think that it really ended up being something where thinking about, being in that kind of loose function of social construction for relationships was something that may have appealed to me. As I've gotten older and, like I said, hopefully wiser, I need definition.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you calling. I appreciate you calling in, because one thing I like you said, is as we get older, we change our definition of not only situation but relationships. And being a family mediator, I've saw several people change their mind even during divorces because maturity set in and they say things in a different perspective. But Gerard, I appreciate you calling in, sir, and keep listening in. If you get another point of view, feel free to call back. All right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Have a good.
Whoops. Sorry, Gerard, I hit the button too quick. But, that was very interesting that he pointed out there because, and I think that's the great thing about it. With a situationship, I guess it really comes down to your age. I guess a 20, 21-year-old situationship will be widely different than those of like myself who's over 50. So that's interesting to think about. If you're in a situationship and you're under the age of, let's just say 30, give me a call. I want to see how yours differ than someone like Gerard who's a little bit older. I'm about to take another commercial break. That right, producer? Another break? About to take another commercial break. When I come back, let's jump into the situationship as relates to age and defining the situation. You're watching A Man's Point of View. I'm your boy, Mike. I'll be right back.
No gimmicks, no fake, stupid conversations. Just real talk and real help from a real lawyer. If you've been injured in a car accident, I'm sure you're worried about transportation, medical bills, lost wages, and getting real compensation for your pain and suffering. I'm attorney Roderick White, and if you want real answers to your car wreck questions and real help with your car wreck problems, call me at 214 or 817, I got you.
Hello, A Man's Point of View. This is Mike.
Hey, Mike, this is Joe. I was just making sure I had the right number to call in on time.
How's it going today, Joe? You're live on the air with A Man's Point of View. How's it going today?
Man, it's great. How about yourself?
Everything's going real well. You been listening to the show?
Oh, absolutely. I had logged in. I saw the first couple of episodes. So, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the future episodes as well.
All righty. Well, my producer's waving at me, so let me get this part. But call back in about 10 minutes, Joe. I want to talk to you personally.
Okay.
All righty. A man's point of view. This is Mike. All righty. All righty. As you can see, they are calling in. But what I want to say before the next caller called in, you know, when you think about a situationship, I think when I was growing up, they called that, they didn't call it drama, but basically freeloading, when a man is freeloading. So with that, you know, is situationship, and please define that if I'm wrong, guys, is that similar to where, you know, a man is trying to get back on his feet? So basically, hold on. A man's point of view, this is Mike.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
I'm doing well. Who am I talking to?
This is Carlton. I was supposed to call in at 7:15.
How's it going today, Carlton?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing well. You been listening to the show?
Yeah, I've been listening, trying to find out when. I thought maybe I'd have a little key. I didn't know I was calling in. But yeah, it's cool.
Well, you live on the show right now.
Can you hear me okay on my end?
Yeah, you live on the show right now, Carlton.
All right.
And so tell me a little bit about your situationship.
Well, mine is, I just recently turned 44, and my girlfriend, we long distance, and she's been divorced for 2 years, but over the past year, since he's kind of found out about our situation, he has been very controlling. She was a stay-at-home mom for 25 years during the marriage.
Huh, okay.
And so, yeah, now he's like trying to control everything on her end. So anyway, you know, she's kind of limited with what she can and can't do, so it's preventing us from being able to move forward.
So your situationship is pretty much your mate has a controlling ex that's trying to dictate what she can and can't do?
That's correct.
So
yeah.
I guess, and like I was saying earlier, I'm trying to understand in situationships, so you guys are in a committed relationship, but yet now that her ex see that she's moved on, he's making it more difficult.
That's correct. Yes,
Wow.
he actually went crazy enough. I mean, you know, the whole legal side of things, but he wrote their divorce decree, and he wrote it to the point where the amount of each money each month he gave her, she basically owed that back to him in rent to stay in that particular house. So basically, a single mom that has stay-at-home mom that has raised 3 kids with this particular guy, and he's the one he's bought a brand new house in West Palm. He's, you know, wouldn't allow her to work, and now, you know, basically that I've came into the picture, he's, you know, he's basically saying she's not going to be able to survive without him.
Wow.
And I'm at a point, my kids are, I don't want an additional kid in my life right now. Like, I have my own personal goals that envisions for myself, so I don't want to take on somebody else's financial responsibility.
Well, I guess in this particular situation, are you sticking around because you sincerely care about her, or is it that you're at a place where you feel guilty and walking away? Or tell me what makes you keep trying?
No, it was like I said, we met. It's been a long distance relationship for over a year, and when we met, it was just this instant connection that I've never felt before.
Okay, so you have true feelings for her.
Both sides, like an instantaneous something that, I mean, you hear them, soulmates, whatever. I don't know, something I've never experienced, and I didn't understand the details that she was carrying with her into our relationship until she made the proclamation that she was ready to move forward and that he was going to no longer be in her life, and he's just continued to constantly pull her back into that environment.
Wow. So now I guess you're at a crossroad where you either have to jump in full throttle with a new family and the existing situation, or choose to walk away, huh?
That is correct.
Wow. Well, I'm not going to ask you what you're going to do on the air. That's something we can talk about off the air.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. And I guess my final question to you is, with that, I guess being, like you say, you genuinely care about her, I guess emotionally it kind of puts you all over the place, huh?
Well, yeah, because it's to the point when she goes down to see her kids, her only option is to stay in the house with them. And, he looks at her phone calls. They're on the same phone plan, so he watches who she calls, checks her Facebook messengers, and it's disrespectful if she's talking to me while she's in the house. Well, he won't let her go anywhere alone.
Wow.
To be able to get on the phone.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's a nightmare whenever
it's
she
crazy.
goes to see her kids, yeah.
Wow. Well, hey, man, I'm glad you called in. We definitely need to pick up and have a show about that within itself. So, Carlton, man, I'm glad you called in, and my deuce is waving at me. I got 1 minute for a commercial break, but keep listening in, and I'll get back with you in just a minute.
All right, cool.
All right, thank you, sir. Now, that's a situationship I didn't think about. When you have a ex who's paying all your bills, but now my question is, what if it was reversed? What if it's the woman helping the man? Do you think the situation be a lot worse? Or will it be about the same? About to take another commercial break? Okay. Wow, this is getting very interesting because I got like 15 questions I want to ask, and now my time is running out. But hey, you're watching A Man's Point of View. Situationship. Are you in one? We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to jump into this a little bit more. Be back in just a minute.
How's it going, everyone? This is Spanish Harlem. Today we're going to be showing you some video on our famous wings that we do. They're well seasoned. They're our special recipe. We do them our way. They come with the mojo that we kind of set up ourselves. It's well flavored garlic, culantro, cilantro, all types of seasonings. You can find us or email us. You can start out with an email. It's SpanishHarlemCuisine@gmail.com. And our Facebook page is SpanishHarlem@Facebook.com. We're currently working on our Instagram page. But the phone number, if you need anything, you need us to do any special events, any birthday parties, any special events, it's 917-763-9889, and you can reach us there.
Welcome back. A Man's Point in View. Today we're talking about situationship. And we had a couple of callers call in from North Carolina, Atlanta, with Mr. Carlton, Gerard in North Carolina, and I guess I could say two different situations, but wow, that's interesting. I guess my question is, in the scenarios of situationship, I guess the clarity of it to me is basically we as men get in a situation to where we either emotionally like someone or use them as a dependency, and then it turns to something less than comfortable. I'm gonna use the word comfortable. With that, now all of a sudden you're between a rock and a hard place. If I'm saying it wrong, Carlton, forgive me in advance. And now it's like you catch feelings. And I think if I go back to one of the person on Facebook put a situationship is similar to an entanglement. And hold on one second. A Man's Point of View, this is Mike.
And I think
Hello?
Hey, Mike.
Yes, who am I talking to?
This is Joe Bell.
Mr. Bell, how's it going today, sir?
Good. How about yourself?
Doing well. Where you calling from?
Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas. I got a homeboy on the phone. Yes, sir. How you doing today?
Good, man. Good. Thanks for having me on.
I appreciate it. You've been listening to the show about this situationship that's going on?
Yes, absolutely.
Man, so I guess you're calling in meaning you have a situationship yourself, huh?
Yeah. The situationship was a learning experience for me. I was in between jobs, and I moved in with my mom when I was young. I think I was, around now, of course, but 23, going into 24. I was in between jobs, so I moved in with Mom, met a young lady, and we just had a good friendship. And I ended up moving in. Make a long story short, but I found a job, started paying bills. And so as we were growing and working, paying bills, just, doing the house thing, we never discussed, relationship status, or are we going to be involved with just us only during it was around a 6 to 7 month time frame. So we never discussed that. So as the lease ended, this conversation evolved, of course. And, there was basically other people involved on my end as far as speaking with other young ladies or entertaining or going out. And, of course, there were scenarios on her end, but there was never a conversation during that time because we was in that situation. So we were so comfortable of, the paying bills and just playing the role of the man and the woman. So after a while, when we started having that conversations, those honest conversations, we didn't end up together because we just had two different goals in life or directions. But that was basically my situationship, just finding myself in that moment where we're helping each other out, but we never discussed that we actually was in a relationship or just dealing with each other, and that's it. So
now I guess I'm gonna ask this question. I'm gonna ask this question, and if I'm crossing the line, you correct me. But now, in the midst of being in that situationship, were you guys sleeping in the same room, conducting yourselves like y'all were in a relationship, or did it just kind of happen and just evolved?
Yeah, definitely. It started out definitely sexually, so back and forth. But I keep spending the night. I kept spending the night, staying over there longer, helping out with different things. I got a job of celebrations, birthdays came up. But yeah, it started off sexually, if that's what you're asking.
Right. So then after that, you was pretty much in a committed relationship without even committing to a relationship.
Right. No one discussed dating outside of each other, ever.
Wow. Now,
I guess until that point, I can.
Right. So how did y'all transition out of that situation?
Let's say that again.
I said, how did y'all transition out of the situation?
Out of the situation, because at that time I was still looking towards to get my own apartment. That was the overall goal.
Mm-hmm.
And she ended up going somewhere else. And as we were doing the real dating part, we just knew, we just grew apart. We knew that, it was two different lives, like we wanted.
Wow,
but
very interesting.
The relationship that we had, again, I would say I grew from it, but I knew, and I know a lot of the mistakes can be made in between that gray area, I call it.
Right.
And if you guys don't make that decision of commitment or not, because it's either it ain't, but you got to make that decision. So I knew for sure that I was in a situationship at that time.
Right. Well, my producer just waved at me again. Well, man, I appreciate you getting. That's a different perspective, but I guess that's the more natural way situationship probably do get started. Well, hey, Joe, man, I appreciate you calling in. Keep listening in and check out the closing point of view. And if you need to, call back in.
Will do, Mike. Thank you for having me on. You have a good one.
Okay, you too, sir. That was a different perspective, a situation where I think is more common, kind of reflects one of the ones that I had. Oh, did I hit my microphone? My bad. But anyway, my producer's waving at me. I got to take another commercial break. But before I can do that, let me get this call, extend that call. A man's point of view, this is Mike. Who am I talking to?
You're speaking with China, Mike.
Well, you see, I saw your name popped up. Trying to hold the call. Let me take a quick commercial break. Then I'm going to come back to you.
All right, got you.
All right.
I'm here.
All right, we're watching A Man's Point of View. About to take a quick commercial break. When I come back, my producer's shaking her head. So I did something wrong. We'll be right back in 30 seconds.
No gimmicks, no fake, stupid conversations. Just real talk and real help from a real lawyer. If you've been injured in a car accident, I'm sure you're worried about transportation, medical bills, lost wages, and getting real compensation for your pain and suffering. I'm attorney Roderick White, and if you want real answers to your car wreck questions and real help with your car wreck problems, call me at 214 or 817, I got you.
Welcome back to A Man's Point in View. And I got so deep into listening to the guys' conversation, I lost completely track of time. Miss China Doll, how you doing, ma'am?
I'm doing fine, my brother. I couldn't wait to jump in here on your conversation today. You know I'm following you like I'm a stalker now,
Right. Well, we got a situationship here now, Miss China Doll.
Oh, yes, we do. Yes, we do. Don't tell nobody.
Right.
Y'all on the line and listen in. Hush up about it. But anyhow,
for those who listen,
situationship. Now, your last caller, Joe.
Uh-oh. Joe?
I'm going to say that, no, Joe is a prime example of why you need to communicate before you start to fornicate. You know what I'm talking about up in here?
Right.
See, folks need to figure it out before they just start jumping into things. We all need to communicate a little bit better. You know, put all that sign language with your body and looking at each other all Google eyes and open your mouth and talk about what you really like up in here. Otherwise, you might get something you don't want in the end.
Right.
And Joe is a prime example of that.
You know.
And then you had a caller, Mr. Gerard.
Uh-oh.
Was that his name, Gerard?
Gerard, yes, sir. Ma'am.
I think Gerard had himself in a real situationship, and he's still stuck about it because he went through that thing like it just happened yesterday. So a situationship can cause you just that, some situationshipness. So communicate, people. Don't just be, jumping into things. Communicate.
Right.
That's my advice.
That's your advice. Well, I got to put you on the spot now. And for those who don't know, this is Miss China Doll, comedian China Doll, that always give us her, I'm not even going to say 2 cents, I'm going to say 4 cents. How's that? I'm giving you double.
You know what? I'll take it.
So, China Doll, tell me about a situationship you accidentally got into. And we got about a minute, so sum it up.
Okay, mine is real unique, so I'm going to run it down for you. It's actually, I'm still in it right now today. Okay, so I got married, right?
Okay.
And then we had a situation, right? So we didn't want to be together no more after 10 years or what have you, right? But when we departed, he said to me specifically, I will never let you go. Now, I didn't take the man seriously about it, but anyhow, that's come to find out some things went on. So, okay, so I move on with my life, so I'm thinking I done filed my abandonment papers on the man and the whole nine, right? So now I'm ready to tie him out again. Now, I'm thinking I'm divorced from that first man.
Right.
And I'm up here saying I do to another man. Well, come to find out I was still married to the first man.
Oh, wow.
So here I am now. When I went to the first man and said, hey, I done got married again and I need you to divorce me, he said exactly what he said years before. I will never let you go.
Wow.
So now, that meant the man that I was married to, he was like, oh, you in a situationship, but I'm dipping. So he divorced me, and now I'm still married to the man who refuses to divorce me.
Wow, that's not a situationship. That's an entangled situationship.
You know what?
Wow, we need to do a story about that one.
Suggestions for me.
Wow. Wow, we got to do a show about that within itself. But hey, my producer's waving at me. She's almost jumping up and down. I guess I'm past my time over here.
That's a true story.
Wow. Well, China Doll, I'm glad you called in, and my producer's waving at me, telling me it's time for me to get off this thing. I guess my 30 minutes is up. As always, I appreciate you calling in.
Well, we appreciate you, Mike, for doing what you're doing and giving people opportunity to get their situationships together.
Absolutely.
You be great, my brother. Peace.
Be blessed. Okay. Well, y'all, that was, wow. I guess the last one was to save the best for last. You go to get married and you can't get married. Wow, that's interesting. But situationship, and I'm going to give you mine. How much time I got? 30 seconds or less? I got a promo, my bad. And you see, guys, you know this is live, real time, because for those who know me, I was a mediator for 20 years. And when I get into conversation about family dispute, my brains go, because I know a simple situation or a situationship can cause some people years and years and years of agony. So with that, exactly what China Doll said, if you're in a situation, communicate. Do not assume, whether you're the man or the woman, that that person automatically know and agree with your thoughts. So situationship, entanglement, either one, communicate. So in closing, I have some great news. DFTV Sports is bringing amateur boxing to Texas. But if you're a fighter from anywhere in the United States and you want to test your skills with some of the top amateur fighters in Texas, go to DFTV Sports, click on amateur boxing, register, and let's set up a time to get you global broadcasting with your amateur boxing. So, amateur boxing live on DFTV Sports, which is the sister station of DFTV Network. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I know I went over my time by 4 minutes. My apologies. But tune in next week for another show. And what's next week's show? See, my producer, I got to call her slipping. So next week's show, I got to say it so I don't forget about it. So next week's show is going to be, and boy, y'all can tell this is live because you don't do pre-record edits and add your mistakes in there. So there it is. And if you want a live show yourself, feel free to inbox us and let her know. So episode 4 in a couple of weeks will be a journey, born a boy, but became a woman. This is going to be a true story of a father's son, how the father and the son, I guess for lack of a better word, transition his son or his son transition into a woman. And as a dad, how do you do that? Me personally, I have to do a lot of praying, but that doesn't mean I'm homophobic. That means I don't know. So tune in next week. Episode number 4, a journey, born a boy, but became a woman. Father-son story. I appreciate you guys tuning in to A Man's Point of View. We'll see you next week. Take care now.